Should you top your peppers? Yes or no? Well, there's a lot of influencers out there that are telling you the wrong freaking information, and today we're going to squash it once and for all. Let's go. Now, there's plenty of different schools of thought on the topic, but ultimately, the answer is no. Now, undoubtedly, topping your pepper plants or really any kind of plants from the nightshade family is pretty popular topic, and it gets a lot of clicks, but it kind of just destroys your plant's progress. Case in point, this is ahi charapita, right? One of the bushiest little pepper plants that you could possibly ever grow. But the thing is, because it's bushy by nature, and you can tell from this one, if we look close, here's the main stalk right here. They're really tiny, and they're gonna bush out anyways. Let's go ahead and give you another example real quick with this Carolina Reaper plant. So whenever you do top your plants, effectively, you're removing this top little portion, and it takes your plants a good solid 10 to 14 days. That's like 2 weeks worth of growth that absolutely do nothing but stunt your productivity for your plant to begin with. So now I guess an instance where it would be beneficial for you to top your plants would be if you live in one of those colder climates and you have a shorter growing period. I would still argue if you just continuously feed it properly, then you're not really going to have anything to worry about. Like I said in the last video, I live in zone 10A, Florida, right? Southwest Florida. And what's good for me may not be good for you. I get a perpetual growing season here in Florida. What that means is it's literally pointless for me to top my pepper plants because they can just keep on growing. I'm 6'4", and this bell pepper right here, while it needs calcium pretty bad, is a great example as to one of those plants that you should not top, because it is known that whenever you top these bell pepper plants, right, you know, they got these thick walls on the peppers, but what ends up happening is the walls of these peppers get way thinner. Yeah, sure, you get more fruiting sites for these peppers to grow on, but what you're sacrificing is that crunch. Whenever you finally harvest these peppers, what's going to end up happening is you're not going to get that nice crunch and that snap. You're not going to get the same water retention. And as we know, pepper plants are a great source of vitamin C. Vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin, which means that you want that plant wall and that fruit wall to be as thick as possible so you can get maximum absorption from eating your peppers. There's a Rottweiler over there. Anyways, I digress. But anyways, we're going to use this ghost pepper again as a really good example of one of those plants that you really can get away with, because inherently the Chinense varieties are kind of more bushy than other ones anyways. But with that being said, we know that they're going to bush out. And so if you're topping for the whole purpose of bushing out your plant, then it's already going to be doing it anyways. So ultimately, what do you need to do? Well, just keep on feeding it. Now, what I like to feed it with, obviously, is the banana water and this little slew bucket of amazingness, banana water, you know, plant clippings or whatever else, and for the nitrogen, potassium, stuff like that. But really what we're trying to nail all the way home here, because like we can make this a quick video, there's really no point in topping your pepper plants. Zero. Like, even if you have a shorter growing period, just feed it more. Now, like I was saying, if you feed it with some stuff like this, which is completely natural, or some hydrolyzed fish emulsion, like the Alaska stuff or the 312 stuff, right? You're going to get the best results possible, and these pepper plants can take it. I kid you not. I continually feed this thing with that fish emulsion, and I don't have any sort of complaints. Not only does it keep on growing, but it keeps on producing. Right here, and as you can tell, we keep on getting more and more and more. Now, while we're out here in the nursery, I'm going to come around through, actually, let me come through let me come through these plumera real quick, all right? Give you a prime example of what happens. This is our Apocalypse Scorpion. Beautiful plant, and I've absolutely topped it. You can kind of see, right, if I move my shadow out the way, right here is where I topped it, and then it branched out 2 sites, equal size, which is inherent right here on this one, and on this one. I've topped all 3 of these, right? But I do this for a reason, because I am a huge fan and an advocate for edible landscaping. So the one and only time that I'm going to suggest that you top your pepper plants is if you're using them for edible landscape. So anyways, I have a really good opportunity to spread this message to you guys while keeping this video relatively small. Ah, okay, so these little bees are not too thrilled with me being out here again. Being out here. See what I did there? But anyways, like I was saying, guys, there's really no point in topping your pepper plants at all. Like I said, the one and only time I'm going to advise you to top your pepper plants is if you're trying to shape them. Shaping them, like the ahichar pita and stuff like that, you can shape them to be nice little edible landscapes, you know, shrubs. Case in point, we have variegated fish peppers. Shout out to Jim Duffy for these amazing seeds. As you can tell from the last video, if you're having problems identifying like plant deficiencies or why your plants look a certain way, check this video up here. But in the meantime, what I can tell you is these ones need some calcium and magnesium. You can tell from like the leaf curl, but I digress because the variegated peppers are absolutely beautiful. They add a great front shrub ornamental feature to your landscape. But anyways, like I said, I'm keeping this video short. Love you guys. Have a good one. Yeah, there's definitely evidence. Look, because you got eggshells right here to add some calcium. Bam, bam. All right, hop along the little bunny trail.
I don't think it was a bunny.
I don't think it was bunnies either, because like bunnies ain't gonna try to mess with that.
Being eggshells, it was probably a raccoon.
It's got to be a raccoon. Like that's the only thing I can think of.